Hello, my friend. Let me ask you something from the heart. Have you ever looked back on your life and thought, if only I had known better, maybe I would have done things differently? As we grow older, those moments of reflection become more frequent. And while wisdom often comes with age, so do regrets, especially when we realize that some of the choices we've made or things we've neglected have quietly chipped away at our health, happiness, or independence. Maybe you've noticed yourself slowing down, feeling more tired, or withdrawing from the people you once loved spending time with. Perhaps you've skipped that doctor's visit, brushed off that ache in your leg, or told yourself it's too late to try something new. These things may seem small at first, but over time they build up like quiet cracks in a foundation until one day they're too big to ignore. The truth is, the later years of life aren't meant to be about decline. They can be a time of clarity, peace, connection, and even new beginnings, if we're willing to avoid the traps that so many fall into. That's why today's video is so important. We're going to talk about 5 huge mistakes that many people make in their 60s, 70s, and beyond. Mistakes that seem harmless but can slowly destroy physical health, emotional well-being, and financial security. This isn't about guilt. It's about awareness. Because once you see these patterns clearly, you gain the power to change them. And change, no matter your age, is always possible. So stay with me. What you learn in the next few minutes might just help you protect the most important things in your life: your health, your happiness, and your sense of purpose. Let's begin. As we get older, it's easy to believe that certain declines are just part of aging. Feeling more tired, forgetting things more often, struggling to keep up physically. But science tells us a different story. Many of the problems we face later in life aren't simply the result of age. They're the consequence of habits we've picked up or let go of over time. Let's start with the body. Our muscles, bones, heart, and brain all need regular activity and proper nutrition to function well, especially as we age. Yet one of the most common misconceptions is that seniors should take it easy. The truth is, when we stop moving, our muscles shrink, our bones weaken, and our balance deteriorates. This increases the risk of falls, fractures, and long-term disability. A single fall after 70 can take months to recover from, or lead to complications that change your life permanently. On top of that, when physical activity declines, so does circulation, digestion, and immune function. Your heart becomes less efficient, your blood sugar regulation worsens, even your ability to fight off simple infections decreases. This isn't just about exercise, it's about survival. Now, let's talk about the mind. Research shows that the brain is capable of growth and adaptation at any age. The idea that mental decline is inevitable is false. What the brain needs to stay sharp is stimulation, engaging with others, solving problems, learning new skills. All these things help form new neural connections and slow cognitive aging. But when people isolate themselves, stop learning, and fall into passive routines like endless TV watching, the brain begins to shut down, increasing the risk of memory loss and dementia. Then there's the emotional side. Humans are wired for connection. Studies have shown that loneliness in older adults can be as dangerous as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. It raises cortisol levels, leads to inflammation, and increases the risk of heart disease and depression. Social interaction doesn't just feel good, it literally helps your body function better. Financial stress also plays a huge role in senior health. Chronic money worries increase anxiety, interfere with sleep, and can even cause high blood pressure and digestive issues. Many seniors avoid managing finances out of fear or confusion, which only leads to more vulnerability, both emotional and practical. Financial health is health. And finally, there's resistance to change. This might be the most overlooked danger, when we refuse to adapt. Whether it's learning new technology, trying new ways of eating, or accepting help, we close ourselves off from tools that could make life easier, safer, and more connected. Holding on to old habits might feel comfortable, but it can lead to unnecessary struggle and prevent growth, even joy. The good news is that these risks are not set in stone. Science has shown again and again that people can improve their health, memory, mood, and independence well into their 70s, 80s, and beyond by making small but powerful changes. You don't need to become a fitness expert or a tech whiz overnight, but you do need to stay open, stay curious, and take action, because the quality of your future depends on what you choose today. And that's exactly what we're going to explore next. The 5 biggest mistakes that quietly destroy health and happiness in old age, and what you can do to avoid each one. Let's take a closer look. 1. Neglecting physical health. Neglecting physical health is one of the most common and most dangerous mistakes people make as they get older. It doesn't usually happen all at once. It starts with skipping a walk here or there, choosing processed food for convenience, or putting off that annual checkup. But over time, these small decisions quietly chip away at the strength, balance, and energy that once came naturally. The truth is, many of the things we blame on aging, fatigue, muscle loss, stiff joints, are often the result of inactivity and poor nutrition, not age itself. When we stop moving regularly, muscles weaken. When we stop stretching, flexibility disappears. And when we fill our diets with sugar, salt, and processed food, our bodies become inflamed, our hearts work harder, and our risk for diabetes and high blood pressure skyrockets. Take Henry, for example, a man in his 70s who once walked daily. One winter, he stayed in to avoid the cold. That break turned into a habit. Within a few months, he couldn't climb stairs without getting winded. It took him 6 months to rebuild what he had lost in just a few weeks of inactivity. Physical neglect also includes ignoring checkups. Many conditions like high cholesterol, hypertension, and even osteoporosis show no symptoms until it's too late. Regular screenings and proactive care are essential. The good news? It's never too late to get back on track. Just 15 minutes of walking a day can improve circulation and mood. Adding simple stretches or light weights can rebuild strength. Eating real, whole foods, fruits, vegetables, protein can nourish your body from the inside out. Caring for your body isn't about chasing youth. It's about preserving your freedom to move, to explore, and to live fully on your terms. 2. Isolating from friends and family. One of the most heartbreaking mistakes that quietly destroys happiness in old age is social isolation. It often starts innocently. Maybe you stop attending gatherings, skip a few phone calls, or convince yourself that others are too busy to care. But little by little, solitude becomes your norm, and that quiet loneliness begins to wear down not just your spirit, but your health. We are wired for connection, and as we age, those connections become even more vital. Research shows that loneliness in seniors can lead to serious health risks, comparable to smoking 15 cigarettes a day. It increases the risk of heart disease, weakens the immune system, and accelerates cognitive decline. When the brain is no longer stimulated by conversation, laughter, and emotional closeness, it begins to dull. Take Dorothy, for instance. At 76, she slowly pulled away from her social circle, believing she didn't want to burden anyone. Weeks turned into months of silence. Her mood darkened, her energy faded. But everything changed when she finally called an old friend and joined a local book club. She began smiling again. Her memory improved. Her days had purpose. Many seniors fall into the trap of relying solely on family for interaction. But the reality is, family members may be juggling their own responsibilities. You deserve a full network, friends, neighbors, and community connections. Even if you're not comfortable with technology, learning how to use video calls or voice messages can be a lifeline. Staying connected isn't just about avoiding loneliness. It's about keeping your heart strong, your mind sharp, and your spirit alive. Don't wait for others to reach out. Make that first move. A simple conversation could be the spark that brings joy and meaning back into your life. 3. Refusing to adapt to change. Change is never easy, but refusing to adapt is one of the most limiting mistakes older adults can make. Whether it's avoiding new technology, clinging to outdated routines, or resisting modern ideas about health and safety, the refusal to evolve can slowly lead to frustration, isolation, and missed opportunities for a better life. It's understandable. After decades of doing things a certain way, there's comfort in the familiar. But the world doesn't stand still, and when we stop adapting, we begin to fall behind, not because we're old, but because we've closed ourselves off from learning. Albert, age 78, insisted his flip phone was good enough, but as his bank moved services online and his grandkids stopped calling, preferring group texts and video chats, he felt left out. Eventually, he gave in. With help and patience, he learned how to text, join video calls, and even order groceries online. The change didn't just make life easier, it helped him feel connected again. Refusing to adapt isn't only about technology. It's ignoring safer home upgrades like grab bars or brighter lighting. It's dismissing new medical advice because it doesn't match what your doctor said 40 years ago. It's holding on to rigid views that create distance between you and younger generations. Adaptability isn't weakness, it's wisdom in motion. Embracing change keeps you engaged, empowered, and independent. The more you open your mind, the more freedom you'll find in everyday life. You don't have to change everything overnight, but one small adjustment today could make tomorrow more joyful, more connected, and far less frustrating. Because thriving in old age isn't about staying the same, it's about staying open. 4. Mismanaging finances. Few things can steal peace of mind faster in old age than financial stress. Yet one of the most common and costly mistakes seniors make is mismanaging their money, not out of recklessness, but often out of misunderstanding, misplaced trust, or outdated assumptions. Many people retire believing they've saved enough, only to realize later that inflation, medical bills, or unexpected expenses can drain those savings much faster than expected. Others fall into the trap of generous giving, buying gifts for grandchildren, helping adult children, or donating large sums to charity without fully considering their own long-term needs. Take Richard, for example. At 72, he entered retirement with confidence. He took trips, treated family to dinners, and avoided thinking about budgets. But by the time he reached his late 70s, his savings had thinned. When health issues arose, he was unprepared. The financial freedom he once enjoyed was replaced by anxiety and eventually dependence on his children, which he had vowed to avoid. Mismanaging finances also includes not updating budgets to reflect post-retirement realities, neglecting to plan for long-term care, and ignoring rising healthcare costs. And sadly, many seniors are targets for scams, falling victim to phone calls, emails, or even people pretending to be helpful advisors. But here's the good news. Financial security doesn't require wealth. It requires wisdom. Creating a simple, realistic budget, reviewing expenses regularly, being cautious with investments, and seeking help from a trusted advisor can protect what you've worked so hard for. Money in old age should bring peace, not panic. By taking control now, even with small changes, you can preserve your independence, reduce stress, and ensure that the years ahead are not only comfortable, but truly yours to enjoy. 5. Ignoring mental growth and purpose. One of the most overlooked yet most damaging mistakes in old age is giving up on personal growth and losing a sense of purpose. It doesn't happen all at once. Often, it begins after retirement, when the roles we've held for decades, worker, caregiver, provider, suddenly fade. Without something meaningful to wake up for, the days can begin to feel empty and the mind slowly grows dull. Many people assume that mental decline is inevitable with age, but science tells us otherwise. The brain remains capable of forming new connections well into our 80s and 90s if we keep using it. The real danger isn't age, it's stagnation. Think of Linda, who retired at 70. At first, she enjoyed the break, But soon her days blurred together. She watched more TV, talked less with friends, and began forgetting things. She felt like she was fading. That changed the day she signed up for a painting class at her community center. She had never painted before, but the challenge woke something up inside her. She felt sharper, happier, more alive. Purpose doesn't have to mean a job. It can be anything that gives your life meaning. Mentoring younger people, volunteering, gardening, learning a new language, or even writing down your life stories to pass on. These pursuits don't just lift the spirit, they protect brain health, improve mood, and even lower the risk of dementia. It's never too late to grow. In fact, the later years are the perfect time to rediscover what excites you, because the more you engage with life, the more life gives back to you. Your mind is still capable, your heart still matters, and your story isn't over. It's still being written. Growing older is not for the faint of heart. It brings with it 1,000 quiet changes, some physical, some emotional, some so subtle that you only notice them in hindsight. The body slows, friendships shift, the world seems to spin faster than it used to, and yet in the midst of all this, there's something profoundly beautiful about this season of life. The opportunity to live with clarity, with intention, and with deep, hard-earned wisdom. But only if we don't let certain mistakes slowly take it all away. We've talked today about 5 of the biggest traps that silently erode well-being in old age. They don't always shout, they whisper. A skipped doctor's visit, a few too many nights alone, that resistance to learning something new, a growing pile of financial stress, the feeling that your best days are behind you. They creep in gently, but over time they can change the entire direction of your life. Yet here's the truth that matters most. It doesn't have to be that way. These mistakes aren't final sentences, they're invitations. Invitations to pause, to reflect, and to gently course correct. You may not be able to change the past, but you absolutely can change what happens next. And that choice is more powerful than any number of birthdays or gray hairs. You see, what matters now is not how fast you walk or how much money you have in the bank. It's your willingness to engage with life, to keep learning, to stay connected, to care for your body and nourish your spirit. It's the courage to say, I'm not done yet. You still have time. To grow, to laugh, to feel alive. You still have something to give and something to receive. You still have a voice that matters. And the ability to shape the quality of every day you wake up to. So if any of today's messages resonated with you, take that as a sign, not of what's lost, but of what's possible. There's no expiration date on joy, on purpose, on the simple power of starting again. And remember, you're not walking this path alone. Here at ElderSpark, we're committed to helping you live with knowledge, strength, and dignity. We're here with real tools, real stories, and real encouragement. Let today be your turning point, not because something is wrong, but because you deserve everything that's still right ahead. Now that you've seen the 5 major mistakes that quietly undermine health and happiness in old age, the next step is simple but powerful. Take action. Not tomorrow, not someday, today. Because the choices you make now will shape the freedom, peace, and joy you experience in the years ahead. Start small. Pick just one area from today's video where you know you've let things slide. Maybe it's physical activity. Can you commit to a 15-minute walk after breakfast? Or maybe it's reconnecting with someone you've lost touch with. Make that call. Perhaps you've resisted using technology. Why not ask a grandchild or neighbor to show you how to make a video call? One small change, one new habit can make a lasting difference. If finances have been a source of stress, take an honest look at your spending, review your budget, reach out to a trusted financial advisor or family member. Clarity brings confidence, and if you've been feeling stuck in a routine with no excitement or sense of purpose, this is your moment to try something new. Sign up for a class, volunteer, plant something, write something. Your passions still matter, and so do you. Remember, change doesn't require perfection, it just requires commitment. One day at a time. And if you found today's video helpful, please subscribe to ElderSpark and turn on notifications. We're here to walk this journey with you, providing practical guidance, emotional support, and inspiration designed specifically for older adults who want to live meaningfully, not just survive. Leave us a comment below. Share one step you're taking today. You might inspire someone else who's feeling the same way. Because this isn't just a video, it's a community. Your life still has chapters waiting to be written. Let's make them strong, joyful, and deeply fulfilling together. Let's quickly recap the 5 huge mistakes that quietly destroy health and happiness in old age. 1. Neglecting physical health. Skipping movement, poor diet, and avoiding checkups weakens the body and limits independence. 2. Isolating from friends and family. Social withdrawal leads to loneliness, depression, and even cognitive decline. 3. Refusing to adapt to change, resisting new tools and ideas, creates unnecessary frustration and distance. 4. Mismanaging finances. Lack of planning or overspending can drain resources and cause long-term stress. 5. Ignoring mental growth and purpose, giving up on learning or meaningful activities, diminishes joy and brain health. The good news? It's never too late to change. Even small steps, taken consistently, can protect your well-being and transform your later years into your best years. So choose one change today and let ElderSpark be your guide along the way.